went to Arizona State.
Right.
I'm a Sun Devil, man.
The 27-yard line. That's a great call, too. Play fake. Plummer will put it up. Throws over the middle. Pull. Touchdown. Quick flag.
3rd down and 5. 11 swings it to Scatterboom. Scatterboom.
I went to Arizona State.
Right.
I'm a Sun Devil, man.
The 27-yard line. That's a great call, too. Play fake. Plummer will put it up. Throws over the middle. Pull. Touchdown. Quick flag.
3rd down and 5. 11 swings it to Scatterboom. Scatterboom breaks defenders. Here he goes again.
Scatterboom is the running back, and he is immediately met in the backfield, runs through the contact, and then throws a shoulder for good measure.
This team is here. That is true. High in the air. Right center field. Brandon Compton.
Edwards pulls up and buries it. Richardson drives out for Robbie Ryan. Her three right on the money.
Takes his shot for Darby. Flag out. Doesn't matter. Touchdown.
All right, everybody, welcome into Wednesday's edition of Pitchfork Lunch. Today's Wednesday, right? Yeah, today's Wednesday. They all roll. You're a coach, and she knows that. But yes, I am Michael Caratino at Diablo005 on the good old XR, formerly known as Twitter. You guys know Pitchfork Lunches. I remind you every day the old account got hacked, so please report. Don't unfollow the Diablo00, which I had forever because somebody, probably from U of A, did it because, well, they don't like anything that's nicer than them. And that was my site dedicated to this show. My personal Twitter, but dedicated to this show. Anyway, we're going to get started right away. A few little bumps, but again, onward and upward as we're Sun Devils. And speaking of that, the phenomenal water polo coach, Petra Pardi, who I see at practice, I see at games, I see at airports, all this good stuff.
We run into each other a lot.
I know we do, but we'll get to that. But man, okay, so I'm going to be like, you know, talking to some of the players and stuff, but I want to start with this. Like, I know, like, as coaches always say, like, yeah, obviously if you win, you know, winning will take care of itself if you're ranked. Like, you know, a ranking's always good. It's a number, but like, but come on, man, you crawl to number 5. And yes, I know the first thing anybody can say, athlete or coach, well, you know, okay, number 1's still there. But still, you climb to number 5 and have such an awesome season. I know you're still, and I'm not saying reflect on the season now, but come on, when you get to a number 5, I mean, I think especially from early in the season when you're dominating, maybe you notice as a coach out there, you're going to sell to your team that, like, you're kind of looking down, you know, the pool deck and the other team, again, competitive, but maybe they just kind of have a teeny bit of wind taken out of their sails as they see how, like, dominant you've been.
I'm not sure. You know, it truly was a crawl to get to 5.
Yes.
We couldn't.
Yes. It didn't happen overnight, but it was earned.
It did not. It was definitely earned, and it like crawling. Have the number 1, number 2, number 3, number 4, number 5, and number 8 ranked nationally teams in our conference. So it is not easy by any means.
Right.
And if you look at, you know, NCAA women's water polo, only 3 teams have ever won a national championship since the existence of women's water polo in NCAA.
I shared that last year because you told me that when we had a match, and I was like,
crazy.
I can't
Nobody
believe it.
thinks that,
Like, yeah, we'll get to. Sorry,
Yeah.
go on. But I'm just saying, like, when I still hear that from you, and I'm like, I know, again, not every school has it, but a lot of schools do, and a lot of talent, and it's like only 3. I'm like, that's just insane.
Right, and out of 60 plus programs in the country, so those 3, and then I will add Cal to that as the 4th, are very, very dominant. And, you know, because of how long they've been established as these dominant water polo programs, and also great academic institutions, which is a big part, obviously, in your recruiting. It's a crawl, right? And it's a relentless effort to try to kind of punch through those teams and put them in your rear view. But I mean, anything worth having is not going to happen overnight. It's going to be a small building, small incremental changes. And I think they're on a really good track this year, especially considering that we have 9 freshmen in our regular rotation. So if we look at these MPSF top opponents, and you look at our regular rotation of who is in the mix, you know, like consistently, it is 3 seniors, 3 sophomores, and 9 freshmen.
Yep.
So I am very excited about this team and to see where the future is going to be, because these 9 freshmen are playing major minutes this season, and it's already a pretty good season. But to see how they mature over their 4 years together as a class, and how dominant they will be, and then the leadership they will pass down, and the culture. So pretty excited for the future, not gonna lie.
I was gonna say you built a hell of a and she also played here, so she's reluctant to get in the pool. I think in practice she could probably still smoke some of the players, but she won't say that to them. I'll say it here on Pitchfork Lunch, like I said it to you guys before.
These girls are way better than I ever was.
Oh, okay. They are very talented and they are very good, but I saw you play. I told you the first time I had you on. I saw you play like.
All I have left is the bicycle trick to
go
underwater, because I have long arms. That's it.
See.
And strong grabby hands.
Hey, dominant at the sport. When you talk about the 9 freshmen. Let's get to. We'll start with that, because on Pitchfork Lunch here we don't. I mean, we can talk X's and O's, but we roll. But obviously for Millie to transfer from Cal, goes there as a freshman, obviously coming from New Zealand. I mean, again, you do the international recruiting. We'll get to that in a minute, but I mean, it's just insane. But not happy at Cal, comes over here, and you're like, I saw your quote. Like, I remember seeing your quote a while back. Like, I don't understand why she was playing. And again, you're not like ripping or trashing a coach or a program, but it's like, I don't like. Okay, this translates. But she gets to come here because I'm tying this into the 9 freshmen. She comes here and she's playing next to Luca, who obviously goes on to score these goals. I mean, Millie scores a lot of goals her first season too, but like. Luca's just absolutely. I mean, you saw it. I'm not telling her anything she doesn't know, guys. But dominant. But for Millie to come over and get to play next to Luca and understand that yes, Millie's talented, she can score goals, but a lot of the attention, of course, as is going to go flying over to Luca.
Yeah. Exactly.
But how do you feel? How do you feel that helped Millie in the pool, but also become a leader? Because now, the freshman, and again, talking to Sydney, it's one of those things, it's like, you watch what the seniors do, but, the film and how they interact, and it's not like a kind of get in your face, like anarchy, whatever thing, but how seeing that, how do you feel it helped her with her leadership and when she meets the team in the pool and out?
I think it helped her so much, and it's a setting where as bittersweet as it is, I only have a year to women between the ages of 17 to 22, and just things come full circle. Really, she did not like being to be the one that had to peel the potatoes and could score the goals. And then that side of the ball with, what do you think Millie said to her? And give me things are coming to full cycle, and understanding that it takes time and it takes incremental development. I love to see it. That's seriously the coolest part about my job.
I mean, exactly. And then obviously when seeing players grow is like you said, obviously yes, as athletes, because that's why they're here, but in school too, and academically, and with it being international, I want to go this route, because I know I kidded around with you the first year, you're, and again, and Pitchfork Lunches. I know one of you asked me, left a comment last week when I said I was going to have her on, that have I got to carry any bags on a recruiting trip yet? No, we have not gone to Italy yet, or Spain, where she's stacked some players, or Hungary, or the Netherlands. Not yet, but I'm in line for it, guys. I'm in line for carrying luggage. I know you have way too many people that are more qualified than I. But when you look at going out there and, like I said, and recruiting and being with, because I know we talked about the first year, I don't want to talk about the whole league, but obviously you came here, you were a national student, you're coaching. But when you see them obviously growing as, like you said, athletes, but students, and they're, turning in, and they're just like involved in so much more. Not that coaching is ever easy, but does it make it easier? Like with their personalities as they get older, and even
it goes both ways. Sometimes it makes it so much harder. Like again, like just going back to the same thing, is the coolest thing is Sophia Millie, are having them on the show too, right? They were completely different than how they are now, and like so much more in them than what they were willing to give. 3-4 years here at ASU, now they're like, holy smokes, like you in ourselves, and now they're like, I understand. Like that circle moment again is it's the coolest thing to have a very lovable, awesome headache that was just like, come on, I need you to see more in yourself, and therefore want to do more, want to give more, to not be the one that is like screaming at the rest of the team at practices, like, come on guys, what are we doing? Like, let's pick it up. We can do way better than that. And that's the coolest part about being
exactly. Okay, so speaking of that, obviously Luch is on the staff and a graduate assistant. She breaks the record, and like, and I know I'm going to talk to Millie, but I know asking the season, and she's not one to talk about herself, so I'll ask the other two to talk about her because I figured that one out pretty quick. But I mean, Lucha sets that record, and then she's here obviously and pushing and working with Millie, and Millie just knocks it out of the park. Mm-hmm. Like I said, there's more to the season to go, but just being part of that, like you said, as a coach, I mean, I know it's awesome, but when you see her do that to, like, especially where she came from, like you said, when we first got here, confidence wasn't, you're like, you're going to play, like, you're going to get in the water, you're going to see, but to see her do that and have the steals and be that quiet leader for the team, you know, like how I hate saying excited because you are, but like how excited, how awesome is it just to see her like break that record, and I mean, obviously has a little bit more season to put it a little further away.
The numbers are only going.
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, Millie was a special kid. From kind of grow this much is unbelievable. And I just also want to say that her and Luta's relationship with each other, that their love for each other. I mean, nobody subbed harder in the team room after senior day than Luta. So it's awesome.
Yeah, no, I mean,
it's crazy that she did all of it in 3 years of being a summer.
Second year next to Luca too, like that team. So yes, when players transfer in this day and age, talking a little bit transfer portal, but like in this day and age, people say like that again. I'm not gonna say all of them are, maybe a little soft skin. Depends on the person. Yeah. But a huge percentage, like, okay, like you brought me all the way here. Like, why am I not playing more? Like, I'm putting in the work. Yeah. And so Millie felt that way. And again, of course, you're in ASU's a perfect fit. But and the thing too, I mean, when you say like, obviously, and a lot of people say, oh, these athletes, they might say something just, when they're being talking like, oh, they talk about their team, but Millie truly is like uncomfortable talking about it, which when I've seen like little interactions with people, but to have, like I said, like Lucha here, like supporting, like going for that. And one of the first things she says, I read, is that, when saying obviously she still has more to do here, a little bit more to do here, but her legacy, she wants somebody to just absolutely like break her record, just knock it out of the water. And I think because athletes, you can say that, but a lot, I mean, some, you get to like selfishly, like, I don't want anybody to break that, but at the same time, like, again, and and she is truly like that. So I say that because like it's a team sport, but just to say something about herself that is like,
That's hard. It is really she I was gonna do that, and I was gonna do that, and I today, the amount of work she puts in, the dedication she puts in, the recovery, the nutrition, the habits, the little rituals that she goes through before every game to be mentally as best prepared for any given opponent. I mean, it kind of makes sense,
Yeah.
like her approach to it is very professional, very just sets the bar very high for herself in all aspects of what it is to be a collegiate Division
Right.
I high performance athlete, and it makes sense.
And so, okay, from the X's and O's standpoint, because like I remember when I had you on the first time, and that's one of my big selling points here on Pitchfork Lunch. Like, we're not gonna talk about the same things every time, but to me, it's just like absolutely crazy, like what they do in the pool. And I've said to some, and they're like, "Oh no, probably not." But I related it almost to like, and I'm not saying the person from this sport would be good at that, or the person from water polo would be good at what I'm about to say to you. But I think of like, the treading and the being up on top of water, and like obviously like swimming back and making sure your form's decent. Like, but like the way they're able to like up and kick and get up in the water, I said it's crazy. I said, so I've always asked a few, and someone said I don't think I want to do it. I don't know, like maybe a little too much core, but synchronized swimming. Like synchronized swimming, to me, like
Very similar.
I'm not making fun of it. Like it is awesome.
Yeah, very similar in the sense of the leg strengths and the egg beater technique and the understanding, how to generate power to get out of the water when there's not like a floor or ground to push off of, right?
It's crazy.
It's kind of wizardry, I guess. But a lot of it is also just like kind of genetics in the sense of like how far apart your knees are able to be, how flexible your hips are, because the wider your egg beater, the more power you can generate. All of that. But yeah, I mean, I think all of us in water polo would a gazillion times rather having to do hard leg sets in the water where we have to struggle to stay out of the water and breathe than to run up and down the field, for sure.
Oh yeah. I mean, that's what I said. Kidding around with like swimmers, and I'm like, yeah, sports could switch up, but whoever drew your sport, not because they think it's a terrible sport or swimming, they would feel like they got the short stick. Because, I mean, I've seen swimming warm-ups, and I'm like, that's not the whole practice. Like, it's insane.
Yeah,
but speaking of that, okay, let's have some fun. We always have some fun here. So obviously, I know you're not in the Big 12, but first year in the Big 12,
right.
Second year in the Big 12, swimming, men's and women's back-to-back Big 12 champs, men's 4 in a row, women 2 in a row. But I mean, and we talked about it, like you're an alumni coach. You're one of the 8 alumni coaches that are in this, group of coaches that again just have built a community and a family. And just hearing all the other coaches like say it, but not just saying it, because people ask me like, "Do you see it?" I'm like, "Yeah, I've seen Coach Van Neal out here at water polo. I've seen Coach Pardi out at soccer," and I go, and now throwing out the first pitch at softball, where her son wanted to get knocked out. We'll talk about that later.
Yeah, that was.
You don't walk behind a pitcher.
Funny.
It was very hilarious.
He didn't know.
He didn't know.
He's 4 years
he's
old.
4, so I know.
He's a big 4-year-old. And I'm going to throw the pitch. He's like,
he stepped. I know. It was so cute. It was
knocked
so
my
cute.
own kid out in front of the
but
entire club Barrington.
Yes, but then
that did happen.
He got it together, and then she got it together, and then she delivered the awesome pitch.
That was a pretty good pitch.
It was
for someone who's not used to throwing underhand,
something different.
Only
exactly.
overhand.
I know. See, but to have that again with the coaches, and I know Coach Powers has mentioned it too, and I mean, Coach Bloomquist, and to see like the different athletes out at different sports. But I ask you this because I didn't really ask it last time. Like, not that the other coaches that aren't alum, obviously they want to win, that's why they're here. But
yeah, 100%.
But how much, like, even in recruiting, do you feel that the message gets across just like a little bit more? Because for you alum coaches, it means like it's like that, like a little more.
I mean, for sure it means more to us because these are the programs that group us as people, and we really understand the kind of like the magic that ASU has, that like here you truly can be anyone you want to be. It's a university of potential. You can be, now we have even medical school. You can be pre-med, go to Mayo Clinic to become a doctor. We have law school. We have a fantastic business school. We have engineering. We have nursing. We have
broadcasting.
Broadcasting.
No,
exactly.
The Barrett Honors College.
Yeah, exactly. We have Barrett Honors College. We have literally everything in a major metropolitan area. We are the only university. So if you want to have internships, you want to have job opportunities, you want to shadow someone in your field, you want to, I don't know, just for the summer, like intern or do anything. Like ASU students get hired in the major metropolitan Phoenix area, and so it's a fantastic place to be at. And I think, like I wasn't the easiest kid when I first arrived here. I will be the first one to admit that I was an absolute knucklehead as a freshman, and because of this environment, because of the people around me in Sun Devil Athletics and in our department, looked out for me and really wanted me to grow and invested in me, I did. And now I get to have the coolest job in the world. Maybe you have the second coolest, but
oh no, if I could coach it, but we'll get that. So I get thrown out of games. But go on.
They almost threw me out. The referees almost threw me out of this USC game too. But yeah, so it's just, again, like going back to like same thing, like full circle to have a knucklehead come in here from the other half of the world barely speaking English, to not be in this position where I am trusted to develop and grow the next generation of future women leaders or female leaders is awesome. And like, obviously, does it mean more? It means everything. It means everything, to make sure that I don't fail, not as a coach, but that I succeed at growing these young women to be as strong of people as they possibly can.
Absolutely. No, and the best part too is I look at it as when you, again, like coming back, like obviously it's big, but when you see, like I said, when I see you interacting like with the coaches, it is, and even players from other sports that come out that are like, sure, okay, they probably never, maybe some of them did, but never really watched water polo, and they're like, wow, because like I said to you, I remember saying to you the first time I interviewed, like the first time I watched and I looked underwater, I'm like, how does the whistle not blow every half second? Because like if I kick somebody like that in soccer, the whistle would be going crazy. Exactly, it's normal. That's what you said. But to look at swimming, I wanted to get to that, but like the electricity that causes. I mean, obviously they went back-to-back Big 12s and they're crushing, but how much more energy? And again, not that other programs, that obviously your players have it, but like just even in sharing a pool, like being around with them and they're that, like how much energy, how much fun is that? Like when they're winning like that.
Like this place right here, Plummer Aquatic Center, we have national champions for in men's swimming. We have 2-time conference champions both in men's and women's swimming and diving, and women's swimming and diving. We have 7-time national championship triathlon. So us being women's water polo number 5 in the country, we're kind of like the slow beast around here. So,
okay, I'll let her say it again. Coach is always going to be their toughest critic, but yes.
I mean, realistically, the greatness walks in between the walks of Plummer Aquatic Center, yes. and it's an electric and a fantastic place to be. And kids, like pass each other in the locker room and they cheer each other on and they draw from each other and they go through the same struggles of, like failing here and there sometimes. And then how do we get back up and how do we still, crawl our way to success and figure out a way to get better. So this place is awesome. It's really, really awesome. If you haven't been, you need to come to Plummer Aquatic Center. Check out any of the sports. They're all fantastic.
I may have a homer show, and you guys know it's not all rainbows and unicorns all the time. Sometimes teams aren't winning. Sometimes things happen. But overall, yes, it is electric. And Coach Van Deel, I've bumped into him out here at water polo matches, and it's just, because he says, he's always, saying a sponge, to learn and see, what other coaches do. So what, if you could coach, if you say you weren't coaching water polo, say it wasn't available, that should be. What sport would you coach? Do you think
does it have to be one of the 26 sports that we have at ASU, or can I pick anything?
You can pick anything. Let's do both. Pick anything, and then what other sport here at ASU?
I would 26 ASU sports, only because they travel to really cool places. They're always on beaches in the sand.
Crushing it this year too.
They're crushing it this year. One of my dearest friends is Kristen. If any sport,
Ooh, okay.
handball.
All right.
I absolutely love handball, and I water polo. Except on land, it's fast paced. It's full body contact. It's shooting hard shots into a big net with a tiny ball. I would definitely not be a goalie in that sport.
Nope.
But I think handball is a sleeper pick, and I think it's an awesome sport.
Nice. I love them all. I want to cover sports. I can say that beach volleyball. Yeah, I'm with you on that because you get a little too warm. Although you're here, you can just jump in the pool too. So
Yeah.
exactly, which is great. When you look at I mean, okay, like what swimming did and what they've done. But like I said, what Coach Faniel has done in volleyball, how when they're picking stuff from you and you're picking stuff from them, like obviously they're beneficial, but like what are those? And I'm not asking for like word for word detail, but what are those conversations like? Because I mean, obviously sports have different. You're working on different. I mean, yes, every sport's the same. I tell everybody you want to outscore to win, but
I think we talk a lot about, especially in head coaches meetings or wherever we go. Get coffee, hang out, whatever. We talk a lot about just the culture and the mindset, the recruiting tidbits, like who does what on recruiting visits, how we each recruit, how we each find like the best match for our program and for this department. How we all like overarching things that we're all dealing with. Fundraising, season scheduling, resources in the athletic department that sometimes like other coaches know about resources that they've already used, and they're like, oh wow, like we should really try this. I never knew that we even had that.
Right.
I just never thought about it. Crowdsourcing.
Go again. She's got to go. Coaches have started bringing international players, but coach still has the record. I mean, the Netherlands, Spain, Canada, New Zealand.
10 countries.
Yeah,
10 countries on the team.
Exactly. So. Europe is always a friend of Pitchfork Lunch. Welcome anytime. Positive vibes, Pitchfork Lunchers, school number 4 with a national title because that's what he's working for. It's not extra pressure. It's just, hey, right back. My apologies, my pitchfork lunch peeps. I did not know what was up with the connection. But yes, a huge gap there between the end of Coach Petra Pardi, again, forks up the coach from water polo, head coach of fifth ranked water polo, joining us here on Pitchfork Lunch. So again, greatly appreciate it. Look, I'm going to check that out after the show because I definitely do it. If anything was like weird or like choppy, we will see that again on Friday. I promise you that, because there is no way, on Pitchfork Lunch, I don't bring you guests like that. And again, my bad, but nonetheless, we will talk to, I'll check it out. Like I said, and if you got all of it, then yes, but if not, we're going to play it Friday. Tomorrow, we talked about players with Coach Pardi. Again, I switched venues because of the connection. Again, I don't know why it was doing that, but it was. So, but tomorrow we are going to be talking to and with Sophie Shorter Robinson, a senior, Millie Quinn, yes, another senior, and one of the 9 freshmen that coach had mentioned. Obviously, seniors, juniors, sophomores, but yes, 9 freshmen, my friends. So, and that freshman that we'll be speaking to is Sydney Crucian, who is from Regina, Saskatchewan, Canada. And both Sophie Shorter Robinson and Millie Quinn are from Auckland, New Zealand. So, yes, they have known each other for a minute. We'll get to that. But, yes, we will be talking to them. So, yeah. But, yeah, my apologies, guys, on Coach's interview. Again, it seemed like it was flowing good because I was monitoring. I'm a Sun Devil. I do monitor. I don't just be like, oh, willy-nilly. That's for that school down south. But nonetheless, I don't know what it was, but now it seems to be much stronger. So that being said, by the way, Sun Devil Wrestling is a Rocket Arena in Cleveland, competing at nationals. Sun Devil women's swim and dive, my friends. Well, the girls, the women, they're swimming, and the relay team absolutely crushed it, guys. Absolutely crushed it as I will tell you what they did. I think they set a school record. Their best time of the year. Season best time for the Sun Devils 200 medley relay with a time of 1:35.93, guys. Absolutely phenomenal. The mark is the second fastest in school history. Man, so stoked for swim and dive as the women are competing. But yeah, day 1 from Atlanta, man. It is rocking. Oh, they got some great pictures up too, like when they introduce the teams. Oh, the way they come through, absolutely awesome. So, yeah, can't wait to catch up with them when they get back. But yeah, guys, absolutely phenomenal. They're in Atlanta, just crushing it. Wow, Dennis Ertan, a few hours ago, guys, she clocked in with a 16:27.20 in the 16:50 free. It was a fifth place showing in Heat 3. So I'll have to check out and see what that means for her. And Alexa, her teammate, opened the week with a 16:45.41 in the opening heat of the 16:50 free. So, yeah, again, the distance, those are insane to watch. I know you guys know this, but man, just absolutely awesome. Oh, wow. So half an hour ago, when I was talking to Coach Pardi, by the way, PHNX Sun Devils broke that Molly Miller didn't travel with the team to Iowa due to an illness. Says there is hope she'll be there on Thursday, though, to coach Arizona State in the first 4 against Virginia. Oh, man. Oh, obviously, forks up, feel better. I mean, obviously, the health, the most important thing, as we know. But yes, Coach Miller, feel better. Hopefully she can get there. Her staff, though, the experience, again, you lean on the staff, but yeah, man, that's tough. So breaking a little news for you here too. But yeah, so how to switch venues. But again, I'm going to check out the Coach Party interview after today's show and go from there. Because again, if anything with Coach Party is choppy and I can fix it, we're going to see that again on Friday. Because again, alum coach, phenomenal job, 5th ranked team in the country, my friends. So yeah, that is absolutely awesome, to say the least. And she was great. Again, Coach, you rock. Thank you again for forks up to Coach Party for taking the time. And tomorrow, like I said, we are gonna have Sophie Shorter Robinson, Millie Quinn, the record setter that we just talked about with Coach, the points record setter, and Sydney Crucian, one of the 9 freshmen, like I said. So those 3 from the phenomenal water polo team will join me tomorrow. But again, if you were watching, hit me up in the comments. As long as, I mean, if it came, again, I'm still going to check. But if it came through, the whole interview was good, let me know. I just found a spot now where I guess I can't do interviews from. So, yeah, that's a tough one. But yes, next time we'll just do it from Coach's office. And if they win a national title, she's coming back on the show. Even if they don't, she's coming back on the show. I shouldn't say it that way. It's not just an ultimatum. But yeah, they got, like I said, a little bit left, and that's that. So hey, since we had that again tough break, we are going to hear from Coach Dillingham. Bowen Moss, pardon me, the freshman golfer, got a little bit of a Arizona experience. There's the Jumping Choyas. They're out at the golf course, or they were down in Tucson, Monday and yesterday, and he had one attached to his leg. He's laughing about it, but yeah. Well, that definitely is the Arizona desert experience. And the Dr. Donis Invitational, the third round, by the way. Sun Devil Women's Golf today. They're probably just about wrapping up. Oh no, 11A. They're not wrapping up. They're in the midst of their round. But Beth Coulter started at the 18th hole. 1A was Faye Rubrong at hole number 2. Paula Scholes Hansen at hole number 3. Isla McDonald O'Brien, and at hole number 4. Yes, on the pole, in the pole position. They're racing cars now. The women's golf team, they didn't tell you. But yeah, I'm a fool. They're racing cars. So yeah, on the 4th hole, Johanna Axelson it was started there. So they started at 11 a.m. So yeah, they're about 2 hours in. So I'm guessing they're in the final third of their rounds. So that's absolutely awesome. Again, love women's golf. Man, just hope Coach Miller and Molly Miller is okay, as we know. Hey, so I said we're going to hear from Coach Dillingham. And again, there's that huge break, so we're doing a little bonus time here. But I do want to get to Coach Dillingham because spring ball starts tomorrow, 9 a.m. And yeah, we'll take this in parts. But yeah, so we're going to hear from a little bit from Coach Dillingham. Here's a funny one for you yesterday. So I should have known something like a connection was going to happen today because it never does. But I got there, I start recording, and he had already started because he always starts 5 minutes early, which is Coach Dillingham. So that's awesome. I know, but I had to finish up the show. And I did. I finished up the show, trucked on over there, and I was recording. You will see this first part, and then he's going, and then I look up, and for some reason I'm like, wait, why is it not red? And why is the clock not running? I double tapped it, or I shouldn't say double tapped because it was recording, obviously. And then I guess when I adjusted my hand, I just stepped a little bit, my finger slid, hit the. I didn't even feel it, but nonetheless hit the button. So stop. So we'll get this part. We'll get this part, and then I will bring you the rest of it. But this is him talking. I want to say it's a person that just asked about, obviously, Coach Regal, health issues. You know, Coach Carrington got promoted to assistant head coach. And you'll hear all this from Coach Dillingham. I'm going to bring it to you because, again, we lost 35 minutes of what I had scheduled for this. So we're going to go a little bonus, and yeah. But yeah, here's him talking about Coach Regal.
Close mentor of mine, so I'm not going to comment too much about him, but I think he's doing good, and all that. Is doing good and all that stuff. But I don't want to get into his stuff. I'm thankful for what he did here. He helped build what we have now, which is a very high standard for a football program, which is awesome, which that should be. In terms of offensive line play, I think everybody saw in the bowl game. We got a lot of young guys.
So you heard him say there, obviously, about Coach Regal. He didn't want to, speak too much of it. Obviously, it's his, his mentor and the energy that he brought. And you'll hear him talk culture as we carry this on. Here we go. Yeah, sorry. But you're starting to talk about the offensive line and guys that are there. Hold on a second. But yeah, with Coach Regal, again, looks like, obviously the Devils going, that direction. But health-wise, Coach Dillingham obviously saying, I think he's doing good, things moving the right way. So, plus, he just had an anniversary, so happy anniversary, Coach Regal. Great friend of the program. And, I'll reach out, see maybe when I can get him back on. But, again, I told you guys from the beginning, just want to make sure, great friend of the program. So he's been great to me, obviously – yes, understanding football, but even as a younger reporter at the time, like just patient, talking to me, picking his brain and different coaches' brains and asking certain things, and even if maybe some of them sounded a teeny bit ridiculous, or I was trying to get to not with him or anybody, but like tedious with saying, oh well, you can do it like this, but in actuality, when he's explaining, it's like, oh, so, man, again, just glad he's doing better. Obviously, the family, I know his daughter's obviously playing softball. His son, I want to say he's in 8th grade. 8th grade this year, going to be, or maybe he's a freshman. Either way, I got to get Coach back on with that. But he's talking about that. All right, so here's the rest of Coach Dillingham. And believe me, I'll cut it in a little bit because it's a little long. And you can hear it, but it's, it'll go from there. So, but here is Sun Devil head coach Kenny Dillingham right ahead of spring ball as it gets started tomorrow.
Supplement, and I think we've done that. I think we recruited a lot of the guys that are going to play for us, and we supplemented it with a few transfers that can really elevate us. But it's not just a transfer-ridden group, and our plan was never to have it that way. And I think those young guys are really maturing, and I'm really excited about it.
Okay, we got Jordan, then Mark.
Hey, Jordan here, so this is easy. Looking through the roster, a name that I think some people might be surprised is on there is Clayton Smith. He did us through, is getting an extra year and then doesn't full time this year.
Yeah, so they, after the bowl game, they're like, hey, because he didn't play in the bowl game because he had surgery on his knee to clean it up. Then they said, hey, there's a chance based off something in Oklahoma that he could get that year back as a medical, and he wanted to do it. And I said, okay, let's go do it. But I said, listen, you still have to prepare like going to the NFL though. So he didn't sign with an agent. He just trained here separately from the team for the last month and a half, 2 months. Because I also didn't want him on the team if he wasn't going to be on the team, right? So he trained separately for 2 months. The waiver came back, it approved him, and me and him met, and he already knows our defensive system. He already knows what we want to accomplish, the techniques. So we talked about what to do in the spring, what other things he can potentially add to our football team, and where we can try him out and move him in the spring, and then make a decision on where he actually plays next year. So I'm excited about spring ball with him. I'm glad he's back.
And listed as an half, and you mentioned some other roles. Is that sort of defense? Is that what?
No, he's gonna go play the offense side of the ball a little bit this spring. He was a really good wideout in high school. He's shown to do that a few times in practice when we have fun with it. But I really think this is an opportunity for us to see, can he actually become a weapon on that side of the ball in spring? Can he be a guy who plays, in fall? Does he do both? Can he play a little bit of defensive end? Can he play a little bit of flex Y, X, big X, jumbo athlete type guy? So I'm excited to see what he does this spring. But, he gives us that flexibility because we feel good about our defensive end room and what we have right now going in the spring. And his versatility and his knowledge of the defense, he can go back to defensive end full time if it doesn't work out in the spring, and he'll be fine coming in one.
Got Mark and then Craig.
There's what's famous sports style. There's maybe two. First one is just you go into more specifics on the S2 test, how recent that is, that's been kind of used. What you feel like it shows you about.
That's happened that's gone out for a while now, and it's just a score that basically it's this like company that I have to touch buttons and has a whole bunch of things that are way above my knowledge, but it correlates basically processing on the field, your ability to learn, how you learn, and there's a bunch of different companies that do it now. That's a company that I'm familiar with, so that just kind of affirmed what I saw on tape. You know, I always use stuff like that with all the analytics and things that we use now, like, okay, how long it takes from when his throwing motion begins to when the ball is released. There's so many analytics you can use now in sports. I think I more use the analytics to back up my belief. And then if the analytics don't back up my belief, that's where I like go back and really study or watch something again. But when it comes to that type of score, I watch it, I get an opinion of the player, and if I can get this other pieces of information, like, oh wow, that confirmed what I already think. All right, it's probably accurate, or if that doesn't confirm what I think, let me go back and watch, and I'm always going to be the judge, jury, and execution when it comes to that, not a score. But this was one that confirmed it environmentally.
And then you made the call about somebody validating the chin that we heard from Graham. I think we heard from you about that happening. Still kind of waiting to hear who that is. But how has that changed your job day to day with that sort of donation in here?
Yeah, I just think we're building momentum. I think there was another big thing yesterday, which we'll get to when the time is right as well. So I think people are excited. People see the direction of the program. People see where we're headed, and we just got to continue to progress. Because the uncomfortable part with college football is everybody is. It takes more every year. It takes more investment every year. It's not just going to stop. Like it's got to continue to be pushed every single year. So I think for us, we are heading in the right direction. We are getting some support at a high level that we didn't necessarily get in years 1 through 3. Now that support is also keeping us up with the Joneses to survive in the new sport, while other teams are also getting more support as well. So we need this just to maintain the level and be able to compete in today's sport. So we're one of many schools that are all growing, and people are investing more because that's just the nature of it right now.
Great in the back, ABC 15. Hey, number one, heading into your 4th year, can you just give us kind of a state of the union of where ASU football is right now?
Yeah, I think we're a football program that is established as much as you can be established in terms of what you expect to see. I don't mean established in terms like some people can cut that quote and be like established, oh, we are here and we have arrived. No. I mean, like, you kind of know what to expect. Our guys are going to play really hard. You know the brand of football you're going to get. There's not a random element to that, I would say. So I think that piece is established. We're going to play a fun style of football. We're going to be really open to people. The culture here is going to be really open to people. It's going to be, usually really, really good kids. Hopefully sometimes kids make bad decisions, but for the most part, kids who make good decisions, who are good ambassadors, who shake hands with people. So I'd say, where are we as a program? Culturally, where we're I want to be, where we have good people, who make decently good decisions. You're not going to be perfect with 18 to 22-year-olds, right? The bad decisions you grow from, but the majority good decisions. And we have a lot of guys who I think people like being around, and they enjoy coming in the building and working every day. So I'd say our state of the union is, I think we're still trending in a positive direction, and we got good people. And I think that is where we're at, and that was kind of the goal to get to. Nowadays in sports, though, you can flip things in a year. Year one for us was a little different just because financially where we were at, and then some sanctions. But nowadays, like, you get 1 year to turn things around now, regardless of sport, because of the nature of the beast. So just part of it, and you just got to try to keep it going.
And a quick follow-up to that, Coach, is you got 15 practices here in the next 30 or so days. What do you want to accomplish? What are you looking for to get done on the field?
I told our guys, I was watching an interview with a little kid asked a coach, basketball coach, I can't remember, I was just listening to it, and he said, what's more important, technique or mindset? Was the question, and the coach was, like I said, I watched it late at night, I can't forget who the coach was, I just remember the message, I can't remember the kid, the reporter's name, but it was a great question. What's more important, technique or mindset? And every coach is going to tell you mindset, and so what do I want to see? I want to see the mindset of a football team that responds to adversity, that responds to success when good things happen, that if things aren't going your way personally and somebody's beating you out, you're still about the team. You know, this is all about the team, and how can we grow this group of guys into a team that care about each other, that want what's best for each other, and understand that team success leads to individual success. So I can talk, I want to see the defense improve this, and I want to improve penalties, and I want to not turn the football over. Everybody in this room knows all that. What I really want to see is the mindset of a team that attacks every single thing they do with just a competitive passion every single day. They're not selfish, they're just about the work and the growth. And then them grow together to the number one priority, be about the team. That is my number one focus in this cycle, because at the end of the day, mindset beats technique. And we've got a lot of kids that have learned a lot of technique here who have moved on. You know, we have 4 guys that, you know, weren't in the top 900 of their recruiting rankings in high school who can go in the first 4 rounds. That's the first time, according to ChatGPT, that potentially, who knows how accurate it is, for a Power 4 team could happen. And that shows the development kids can get here. You can get the development, but developing the mindset is the most important thing of an athlete. And I think that is where our focus is I want the mindset of this team, the mindset of these kids, these players, to be right, to be passionate, and you know, just to be the best they can be, as locked in as they can be.
Andrew, then Justin.
Coach, good afternoon. What you kind of answered in your last answer, but when you look at these position battles, what is the one thing you want to see from players that just stand out for you?
Yeah, consistency, trust, which is consistency. It's that like mindset that I always tell our staff this: if that guy messes up to lose a game, are you mad at yourself, or can you sleep at night? I want the guys in the field that if he messes up, I'm so concerned on how he's feeling, because I know he feels so bad, that I'm over there trying to make him feel better. Not why the heck was he in the game. That's just the reality of it. And sometimes coaches put the guy in that's the most talented because we want to put the most talented guy in the game, and then they make a mistake. The things that I want to see in these position battles: who can we trust? When the game is on the line, if you get beat, we say, you know what, I can live with that. I think that's the biggest thing in these position battles that I'm looking for. Who can build that trust with the players? Who can build that trust with the staff? Now, you obviously have to have the talent level. You can be the most trustworthy guy and look like me and run like me, and you're not gonna play, right? So there's a sliding scale balance, but that is the separating factor there, is that piece of, can we trust you? Are your habits trustable, right? Can we sleep at night knowing you gave everything you got, if it worked out or if it didn't? That's gonna be the separator.
Hey, Coach, just last year, Justin Devil's Digest, you mentioned that Brian Carrington's going to be doing a little bit of everything, being promoted to the assistant head coach role. How important was it for you to elevate him to that role with his track record of improvement and also development?
Yeah, he's from where he started as a football coach to where he is now. He's grown, I mean, leaps and bounds as a football coach. He's always been a phenomenal developer. He's always been a phenomenal person. I believe in year 1, somebody asked me, what made you think, somebody could find the clip, that Brian Carrington could coach corners from his transition? And I said, he's a great communicator and he's smart. Like, at the end of the day, coaching is not very difficult. Can you learn information, and then can you communicate that information, and then can you just be honest with people so they trust you? It's really that simple. So he had those qualities, and I wanted to give him a little bit more role in terms of being able to talk to different position groups in recruiting. I wanted to, get him out sharing our message as a football program, because I think he can be a head coach one day.
Michelle Gardner, Arizona Republic. Coach, can you talk about 2 players that we didn't see at all last year, Zach Swanson and Michael Gardner, where they are physically, and do you think they're ready to, start out this spring and be able to do everything?
Yeah, I mean, right now they're still both going to be out for spring. Yeah, we'll see how that progresses and try to get them back. Hopefully sometime in the middle of spring, end of spring, but hopefully back, sometime in the process. Zach's an awesome kid. it was very, very productive for us in his year one. He played a lot of snaps in year one for us. And so, I mean, I'm excited to get him back. And Gardner just unfortunately hasn't been able to play since he's been here. He's been out. So hopefully we get those guys back in spring, but, hopefully by summer to get in shape for fall camp at the latest.
Hi, Kenny. Doug Haller with The Athletic. Two questions. One, where do you think you have changed the most as a head coach since you arrived? And two, where do you think you need to be better going forward?
One, I don't let small things bother me as much. I've learned which battles affect the bottom line, which is our players. Like, wait, this doesn't affect our players. I don't need to go fight this, right? Not worth it. So I've really learned, I would say where I need to spend my time in terms of fighting battles, because I get picked to fight a battle every day, right? I mean, most people in their jobs get picked to fight a battle every day, and there's a problem or an issue every day. I've really managed delegating some of the off-the-field issues that don't affect the players, and I've really taken on the players. I'd say that's the one thing there. I think I got to get better at. I think I got to be more efficient on the practice field. Just watching our practices last year, I didn't think at times we were as efficient as we were the year prior. I thought there was more walking. I just thought, there's different ways to practice. You can make periods. Every period is 5 minutes, which is what I was trained in. And in Oregon, it's not. Some periods are 4, some periods are 3, some periods are 17, right? So then you have that side that's super efficient. And my comfort zone was the other side. And but I kind of liked what I did when I was working with Coach Lang, what I learned there. So this season we're going to kind of merge that together, try to be more an efficient team. Because I feel like that's where I can grow as a head coach, is become more efficient with our staff and our players on the field, get the same amount of work done with 20% less time. So I put a lot of time into how to manage that, and met with a lot of people, how they do that, how they become more efficient on the field to get the same work in with less time. So that's really what where I feel like I can grow in one of the areas. There's an endless list. If you want more, just call my wife.
Damon, and then Adam.
Hey Coach, Damon Allred, Arizona Sports. With just how big of a graduating class you've had this past season, and you talked about how players are the ones that carry over the culture each year, who are the leaders that you're looking forward to do that on this group? Or maybe do you think that the tone has already been set in the weight sessions?
Yeah, I mean, we lost a lot of guys. Normally we have a leadership council right now. Normally we get guys back that were on the council, and then I add like 3 to 4 guys to it. And we have a council when we go on our compete teams, because we have competition teams all off season. And this year we graduated so many guys. I told everybody, listen, we're not just putting people in the leadership council. So I had CJ stand up, because at the time he was the only guy left from the leadership council. I said, he was on the leadership council, he's been on it since a freshman, could have gone pro, he's still here. You listen to him, sit down. Okay. And then let's see who gets on the leadership council when this thing ends after spring ball, because I think it's going to be some new, I think it's going to be some old. But what I will say is the culture has been passed on to this new group. You think, okay, there's 50 or 45 new players, how does that pass on? Well, when those 55 or 60 guys that were here know how to operate, and when you sign guys that are good people, they pick up. And I think those guys that are here, that are returning, they know what it looks like to be successful, right? They know what it's supposed to look like. And I think they really took it into themselves, whether they're going to be on the leadership council or not, right? All leadership is influence, right? Leadership is hopefully positive influence, right? But you can have negative influence, and nobody calls that leadership, or you call it bad leadership. Just positive influence is leadership, right? And however you want to describe what positive influence is. I think we have a lot of guys. Instead of having 7 or 8, I think we have 35, 40 guys that returned that all have positive influence, that all do things right, that work hard, that are good people. And I think that person to one person, they connect to 2 people, you just grabbed everybody in your program. So I'd say that's where kind of that leadership is hit. It's almost been a community approach. And then there's been a couple times where I've heard where, CJ's kind of said something. Everybody knows CJ. CJ's not a guy who's a raw guy. He's not a me guy. He's just a great person. He's a phenomenal football player. He's like the dream player to have in your program. To be honest, I don't know if you can draw somebody up better than CJ as an ambassador of your program. So when he speaks, people listen. I think a couple times, he brought the guys up, spoke 20 seconds. People respond to him because he doesn't try it. It's just natural. He does what he believes, and that's what I think makes CJ special.
And then quick follow, we talked about the facility a little bit already, but what decisions made in the later part of that process, like in January and February, what excites you most about how it can help the football team?
Yeah, obviously practicing inside, the efficiency of not driving across the rural road to get to practice and getting back allows us to walk through more in there, because sometimes we make decisions to not do walkthroughs because the efficiency of getting 145 people when it's all said and done across rural takes 15 minutes minimum. So you've wasted 30 minutes on a 15-minute walkthrough, potentially, or a 20-minute walkthrough, but you can't do that. That's just bad use of time. So when we get that up there, we're going to be able to do more walkthroughs built into certain periods of pre-practice to become more efficient, because it's a 4-minute walk. 4-minute walk, 20-minute walk, walk back, we're good. Maybe even a 3-minute walk. So it's going to make us more efficient in practice. It's going to be able to allow us to do obviously more full-speed drills, in the heat, which I don't really mind that piece. But I think one of the things that really I'm most excited about it is, I've said this from day one, college football is not just about coaching. It's about getting a community involvement. And one thing that we've struggled here, because it is hot and it's asphalt, right, is to tailgate. Unless you are a die-hard person, you are not tailgating on asphalt. And nobody should blame you for that. To create an environment where there can be tailgating outside, tailgating on the grass outside, tailgating inside, 200 yards of covered space. We walk through it pregame with the band. That is something that creates affinity. That's something that gets people that are like, they're dipping their toe in ASU football. That gets it like, what do I do on Saturday? I go to the game? No, what do I do on Saturday? I go down there at 9 a.m. I watch games all day. I hang out with my buddies, and then I go to the game. That is the next step that the top programs in the country have. Top programs in the country, you're not taking over 5 to 9, 5 to 10 p.m. You're taking over Saturday, right? Or a big chunk of it, right? Other than your kids' Pop Warner games, go to that first, and then come out to the tailgate. But that is what I think that it can provide. It can create an affinity approach that really can take, okay, we're selling out crowds. People are excited about ASU football. We're talked about on the national stage a little bit, not to the point where we can be. Now we get people engaged all day on a Saturday. We're getting more Valley involved. Okay, that's the next step in this process to really make this a die-hard ASU, what do you want Saturday town? And that's what you need in order to sustain success in college football.
Adam and then Jake.
Hey Coach, Adam Keating from Rockeye News. During the bowl game,
Hey, so that was Coach Dillingham, the first half. A lot there. Clayton Smith going to work with the offense, got a 6th year. CJ Fight, only one, leadership council, only one that's back from last year's. And I mean, he's right. CJ's been on the program, great friend of the program. CJ Fight, love again his dad, friend of the program. Mr. Fight has been, but just absolutely awesome. So there's that, and like you said, the standard, and about kids making good decisions. But he talks about that. Working harder than anybody in the country, having more fun than anybody in the country, making good decisions, being a good person. Like, again, culture, setting, like you said, the State of the Union. And like you said, it's not like, okay, we're here, we've arrived. It's not like they're not building and growing. You hear Coach Dillingham. You hear, again, we've heard the staff, and we've talked to them. Like, you get it. So Anyway, quick commercial, and then when we come back, we will have the rest of what Coach Dillingham has to say. Again, spring practice, my Pitchfork Lunch will start tomorrow. Thanks for checking out the bonus Pitchfork Lunch. Again, apologies again for the technical stuff with Sun Devil, awesome water polo head coach, Sun Devil alum and water polo head coach Petra Pardi forks up. But yeah, so we will take a quick break, and again, right back into the rest of Coach Dillingham here on Pitchfork Lunch.
Last season and during the prep for the bowl game, it seemed like you were a little bit more involved with the offense. Do you envision yourself getting more directly involved with the scheming and game planning in that group?
Yeah, I think at this stage, I have a little bit more time. Like I said, I've managed to not fight every battle and to utilize people to fight some battles for me, which does free me up to do more football. I've always been really involved or decently involved in most sides of the ball. On game day, leading up to game plans, I like to go back and forth, so I'm always going to be a guy that goes back and forth scheme-wise, because I think it's good for defensive guys to hear offensive perspectives and that. But you know, my teeth were cut on offense, and I like it. I like to coach. Like, believe it or not, like, it's fun, and I enjoy it, and I want to do it again. Actually, coach. So I am going to get back involved. That doesn't change Marcus's role. Marcus and I already have worked together at a high rate. It just means I'm going to be obviously probably running around a little more and a little more engaged and a little more involved in those meetings because I have the time to be a little bit more involved. But yeah, it's nice to, you know, when I'm not in those meetings, to have a guy who finished like second in the World's Award in those meetings. That's a positive. When the guy who's in the meetings next to you and that you're talking to about scheme is, was the runner-up for the Royals 15 months ago.
Hey, Kenny, Jake Garcia with 12 News. You have 3 underclassmen in the quarterback room and 1 upperclassman. What is the balancing act between going with a guy who gives your team the best chance to win this year versus maybe someone who's more projectable and can benefit from those reps and maybe has the highest ceiling in a couple years?
Yeah, we're always going to play the players that give us the best chance to win right now. I'm really not a guy who believes in, hey, even in year 1 when we sucked, I didn't make one decision to like, oh, this is going to help us next year. That was not, I mean, we were horrible, and I still did every decision to try to win, because that's what you do. You want to win. You want to, you want to create a team that doesn't accept losing. So we're going to make every decision to try to win football games this year, and the guy that gives us the best chance to win football games this year, this game, this moment, from now and at all positions. I think college sports is different than pro sports because you have seniors, and these guys have one senior year. If it's their last year, if it's their one senior year, I think it's our job and our responsibility to try to make it the best year possible for them. I just couldn't sleep at night knowing that, okay, there's a senior over here and I'm planning for next year. I just don't think that's right. Not that it's wrong, you know, other people who do it. I just truly believe, and we're gonna do whatever we can to win right now.
Right there. We got 2 in the back. What's your name?
I helped you find here, didn't I? Tour guide.
Radio. You talked a little about culture earlier, and I had the opportunity to ask Joe Gibbs about culture last weekend, and he said it's about taking, it's more than just putting people in the right places at the right time. It's about taking them from where they are now and getting them somewhere that they can't go without each other. So I'm curious
curious if you could talk more about the culture here at ASU and maybe how it's different than other programs you work with.
Yeah, I'm not going to talk about the differences from other programs. Talk about it here. We want people to be themselves. We talk about, there's a quote from Mike Crable, I'm going to butcher it, but I'm going to get the gist of it right. I want you to be your own personality, but everybody to have the same mindset. I don't want people to come into our building and feel like they have to change who they are. So I would say our culture, be a good person, make good decisions, have more fun working harder than anybody in the country. Well, be yourself. Just be you. I don't care who you is, as long as you are a good person that makes good decisions and you have a lot of fun working your butt off and competing every single day, be you. We're good. We have to have the same mindset, but you gotta be yourself. And I think if everybody's themselves, it raises everybody around them. I really do. I think it raises you when you get to be yourself and be genuinely you, not try to be somebody else. Be weird, be quiet, be the dude who's really vibrant. I don't care. But be a good person that makes good decisions, that loves coming in every single day with a passion. And I'll say this, even if you don't agree with somebody's personality, or maybe that person doesn't connect with you, I truly think people respect genuine. I think it's the same in almost every industry. Regardless of what you do, if you're like, I don't like that guy. But you know what? He is not a nice guy every day. At least I know what I'm getting, right? That's like this. If you're not a friendly person, right, just be a good person. You don't have to be friendly to be a good person. So like, it's just be you every single day and hit those 3 categories for me. Be a good person, make good decisions, and have a lot of fun doing what you're gonna do. And if you never speak to anybody but you're those 3 things, you're a part of our culture. If you're Jacob Kangaika and you do those 3 things, you're part of our culture, right? That's it. So I'd say, what is our culture? It's that. How does it elevate people? Being yourself, I believe, gets the best out of people. I'm different as a head coach than a lot of head coaches, right? Because I'm just me. I'm not trying to be, if I tried to be somebody else, I'd be worse than I am now, right? Which would be horrible. So I just try to be me.
Got Mike right here.
Coach Michael Caratino, Pitchfork Lunch. To kind of piggyback off that, I know obviously first year you came in trying to get players in, but how do you feel that with setting the culture and the guys, like you said, that have been out front, leadership council, that's echoed along the recruiting trail now going into your 4th year?
Yeah, I think the word is spread and is spreading. Man, people like it here. Like, we're not going to bat 1,000. I'm fully, I want to treat everybody right, treat everybody fair, but the reality is, like, my job, I can try to do everything right, and not everybody's gonna like me. Some people are gonna think I suck. Some, like, you can't be perfect, right? You're not gonna appease everybody, and you got to accept that. So to answer that question, I think people know what they're getting when they come here. I think we've created kind of a standard of, like, they're just them. They operate a little different, right? It's a good vibe. It's a good culture. They treat people right. I think that's starting to resonate with people. So we've really been able to kind of sort through, especially in the portal season, we've really been able to sort through guys that fit us a little bit quicker, and guys kind of know us without ever knowing us, because we've been here 3 years now, so they're like, yeah, my buddy played for you guys, who I played 7-on-7 with in high school. I reached out to him. He said he loved it there, best decision of his life. Boom. So the longer we're here, hopefully those stories, trend, and that helps us recruit. There's also going to be negative stories too. You're not going to be perfect, right? There's going to be people who don't have good experiences. I hope that's few and far between. And my goal is to make sure everybody has the best experience they have while hitting the standards we hit. But I just want people to know who we are. I think that word is spreading.
2 in the back there.
Hi, Coach. Matt Boyke, Cronkite News. 2 FCS running backs transferred in this year. What are we going to be looking for? Who are we going to be looking for to step up within that running back room?
Yeah, I think that room's probably one of the most up-in-air rooms we have in terms of competition. That room is going to be on. We're going to be a little more 20, 21 personnel this year. So I think that room's got to have a more versatile role, and because we have so many backs. So I'm excited to see that room compete. I don't know if there's like a specific guy I want to name out or anything like that, just because I'm excited to see Sip come back, and get healthy, which he is now. But I'm excited for that whole room to compete this spring. I think that's going to be a very, very fun battle.
Back. Hey, Coach. Anthony Saxman, Plays Radio ASU. You talked about how you're kind of different as a coach and the way you coach your kids and all that kind of stuff, and the culture and how important it is. How do you, as the head coach, balance being hard on your players when you need to be, and also making sure that, especially with the new guys, some of the freshmen, the transfers, that they feel comfortable in a new place?
I just got to be honest. I think if you're just honest with people, they're going to get used to honesty. Like, at the end of the day, I think things are challenging to manage when you try to manage them. If you just tell people the truth, constantly give actual feedback, right? Then what is it's easy. They just tell them the truth. I think people can catch themselves, and it becomes more challenging when you're like, okay, 2 days ago, I was mad at this guy. Today, I got to be nice to him, right? Just be yourself every day. Like, we're never going to bring somebody down. You know, we're going to coach you up, not coach you down. So, I mean, being tough on somebody does not mean they should feel worse, right? Now, they should feel the truth. Like, you are not running the ball. You will never play here if you don't run to the ball. If you run to the ball, you'll probably play a lot. All right, end of conversation. Like, so I just think the style, it's never to coach a kid down. That's not what we want. We want to coach them up. And we want to make that kid learn something when we speak. Like, what is the purpose of what I'm telling you? The purpose of what I'm telling you is to create you to feel bad about what you did. You didn't get better. There's zero purpose in that, right? That's just a coach responding in a poor way. When we're coaching somebody, we're coaching something for them to get better at. And then they can go improve it. And then if they improve it, well, go tell them great job. If he didn't improve it, go tell him, why aren't you running the ball still? Didn't we talk about this yesterday? You're still not running the ball? Because if you don't ever tell them that, what's going to happen is these little conversations that you're scared to have, that you're scared to be on, become a big conversation. And when it's a big conversation a month and a half later, that's how true conflict happens. If you give constant feedback to somebody and they don't fix it, well, that's a them problem, and they know that. Whether it's a coach, whether it's a player, whether it's me, if I'm getting constant feedback and I'm ignoring it, like, I know I'm ignoring it. So I'm not going to react in a bad way because I know I'm ignoring it. So I think constant, honest feedback. And I go in the locker room every day and I talk to guys, I build relationships, try to get to know them. So I do know how to coach players specifically, but I'm not ever going to shy away from the truth. That's an area where that's the easiest part for me, is just telling people exactly where I think they stand, exactly what they're doing.
Kevin.
Hey, Coach. Kevin Hicks, ASU on SI. Quick two-parter here. Obviously, you've had to reshuffle your schedule a little bit in future non-conference games. Just how massive is it to get a footprint back in California, playing San Diego State and Stanford? And have you had a chance to do any inner workings to find a replacement for those future games that got canceled?
Yeah, I know. I would love to play all of our non-con and like history, game teams that we used to play in the past. On the West Coast, some teams that we maybe don't play anymore. I think it'd be awesome to kind of get that rocking to where we go and play at a place that people thought, maybe we'd never play again, or they come and play us again. I think so. We've started to try and do that, but that would be my ultimate goal, is to try to create those non-con games in the West Coast, because now we go, to Texas multiple times a year. Before, when we were in the PAC, we didn't play in Texas, so in order to recruit Texas, you got to go to Texas to play these games. So now that we're playing already, 4 games a year, you want to get the different regions from a recruiting standpoint. Playing in different regions, you recruit in usually those regions, and because we're not regionally, our schedule doesn't regionally base out of California, right? We've got to find ways to get back into California in our schedule, and the only way you can do that is non-con. So I would hope that we push hard to make all of those games, in that somewhat region.
Two questions. First is, anybody else who's going to miss the spring due to injury besides the two that you mentioned?
Yeah, I don't want to go on the list because I'm going to miss. Only guys, let me see, we've been through, like Boogie will be out. We already mentioned the two right Derek Yasubio will be out. Harry Hassman will be out. Good. Marquise Gillis will miss the first couple days, maybe, if not anything. They'll be fine. Wide receiver, I just mentioned. Defensive end, Ramar will be out for spring. We already mentioned the other two. What else should be good? Linebacker, good. DB, we already mentioned Boogie. Those are the main guys. I may have forgot one guy, or maybe some guy hasn't been like officially ruled in or out yet, but those are kind of the big ones. CJ will be out for the first half of spring, returning maybe even more further, especially for team periods. So that's the gist of it. There may be a couple guys in and out, depending on where we're at on Thursday.
The next question is Mikey Keene. Does he brag to you about the game that you wanted to forget about years ago, and why did you decide to bring him up?
Yeah, well, I literally, the first time I saw him, I go, you realized you were associated with the most embarrassing game since I've been here. Like, that was so bad. And then Utah came along that year and may have trumped it. But no, what I told him was, like, I saw you operate, I saw you get the ball out, burst pressure, I saw how efficient you were, and that's what excited me the most about him, was just his efficiency in college football, and that he could do it, at this level on the road, and he's from here, so that was one of the first things I told him was, like, golly, like, that was not fun. We had 97 turnovers that game or something like that, 7 or 8. Oh, that was just dreadful. Why did you bring that up? God, it's horrible.
Jordan?
PTSD from that game?
Oh,
Hey, Danny, how did your staff prioritize wide receiver in the transfer portal? And how do you see these for the newcomers mixing with the returners as well?
I'm excited, obviously, with Jordan's success and having a guy like Hines Ward coach the wideouts, and he's coached one guy who was a number one wide receiver on our team, and he's kind of 1 for 1 in his coaching career. And Jordan's growth and maturity, I think there was when guys are in the portal, guys seeked out us, which was way different than what we're used to. And they seeked out us, and we're like, hey, this is where I want to go be developed. Before I go pro, I want to go get coached by Hines and be in a system that moves me around the field and stuff like that. So I think we just really maximized our opportunities. Every time we go into an offseason or go into a portal, we have what we would like, but we're not going to get stuck. And we want one of these, and one of these, and one of these, and one of these players. And we're going to say, okay, who can we get? Who are the best players we can get? And let's change our scheme around those players. So we happen to be able to get 3 really, really good starters from the Power 5 level to come be a part and join, the guys that return. You can't say no to really good players. And that's what I tell our staff all the time is, regardless of our situation and where we're at, we're going to take good players. If we don't need another defensive end, there's a really, really good defensive end out there who's a superstar who's going to be drafted. We're going to find a way to take him. I don't know how. I don't know what we're going to do with them. I don't know what we're going to do, but we're going to take good players and change our scheme around the talent we have. So we just had the opportunity to sign some really, really good players in that position because they wanted to be coached by Hines, they wanted to be in the system, and Jordan's success. And we obviously said yes, yes, yes. And now it's our job to maximize those guys. And Mike Leach said a long time ago, balance is not 50-50 run pass. It's 5 guys in the field all touching the ball the equal amount of time, right? That was one of his famous quotes. And we're not going to be perfect in that, but now it's our job to make sure that ball is dispersed to all of these weapons at somewhat of an even rate, even if that makes it different, or we have to do things a little bit differently.
You all good? Awesome, thank you.
Put out Coach Dillingham right there, my peeps. Yeah, glad you stuck around for that. Again, such a longer show, but again, subtract 30 minutes, and that's where we'd be. Actually, probably would have been done at 1, but you can subtract a little more. But yeah, at least 30 minutes in the middle of the show. Technical stuff, but hey, man, onward and upward, keep fighting. I apologize for that, but yeah, like I said, I'm going to check out Coach Pardi and see, make sure that all came across smooth. But yeah, you hear Coach Dillingham right there. I mean, a lot going on, and that's why I asked him about, echoing and recruiting. That's what he said. Like, you hear, like, are you a good person? And he said before too, to piggyback off that, you've heard it here on the airways, and you've heard it if you've heard Coach Dillingham speak, like, in taking the right guys, sometimes you're saying no. I mean, and like you said, like, yeah, if it's a really good player, and maybe, you're full, but like, you're going to figure it out. But there are players that, again, and again, he's always said, not that they're bad people or ruin a culture, they just don't fit here. And that's identifying it too. I mean, especially in the portal. When you're talking about portal athletes. But plus, by the way, I know I shouted it out when it happened, but him and his wife, Bree, had their second child, another son. His name is Heath. He did say afterwards that Kent loves being an older brother, except he keeps touching his baby's face too much, which, again, not hitting him, just touching the baby's face because it's so cute, right? But yes, so congrats again. I know we talked about it earlier when it happened here on Pitchfork Lunch, but again, congrats to Coach Dillingham and his wife Bree on their second child, who I'm sure Kent will be showing the ropes of how practices run and what you can do out at the field soon. So, yeah, absolutely. That's awesome. But yeah, no, you heard, I mean, the second half right there, guys, it's a lot to digest. I know, yes, pun intended on Pitchfork Lunch. But yeah, I mean, Clayton Smith working with the offense in the spring, gets a 6th year because of the waiver. That's huge. Zach Swanson and Mikael Gardner, their situation, obviously, both defensive linemen, and, coach said probably not. You heard him there, probably not for the spring, but hopefully they can get back for the summer. Hopefully they get back for the summer and, be ready for, obviously, ramp up to fall camp. So we'll see that there. And yeah, no Boogie Wilson, unfortunately, too. And then CJ Fight, like you said, with the first half there. But again, a spring ball is going to be interesting. Like you said, the quarterback competition. And that's one thing, I love that question, like, that was asked about winning now, for winning now, or maybe somebody that, you see the ceiling's higher and the snaps definitely benefit them. And, that's what Coach said. Like, and it was perfect because that's, as he started to say, that's what I thought about their first season when they were 3-9, and yeah, they were a mass unit too. But it was one of those things where, like I said, they were a mass unit, but he was still. I mean, come on, they played a swinging gate against UCLA and won. Like, it's just one of those things. You go from 3-9, of course, players who you're trying to win always talked about that energy that the coaches had at practice, even, later in the season when, you're well below 500 and you're injured and you can't do a ton at practice, but you go from 3-9 to winning the Big 12. So yeah, and then you go to the Peach Bowl and you're, inches away from beating Texas. In the first year of the 12-team playoff. So, yeah, I mean, but yeah, I mean, who they recruit, and he's talked about, and that's why I asked him, if he heard it, echoing, and, he gave a great example. The one player, my friend I played 7-on-7 with, so it was the best decision he ever made. But like you said, being honest, you're going to work, you're going to compete. Like, obviously, yes, you're talented. I've said this a million times. You're talented. They want you, but you're going to compete. And if you're not here to compete, obviously it's going to show. He's talking about defensively. If you're, when he's talking about conversations, run to the ball. If you don't run to the ball and you're not putting that effort on defense, you're probably going to be sitting next to them, next to coach. But just like you always said about being honest, being upfront, but like building the relationships. And that's what helps
in this day and age. So, again, a lot there from Coach Dillingham. Again, you can hit me up at Diablo005_ on X, the artist formerly known as the Twitter. Again, yes, that is a new Twitter handle. So if you were following, please follow. Please, again, follow so you're keeping up with Pitchfork Lunch. My old account at Diablo00, block it, unfollow it, report it, because it is not me. So, I would never send you spam crap, my Pitchfork Lunchers. So, yes. But yes, block the at Diablo00. And then follow my new one, the at Diablos005_ is what I could get. So, yeah, but that's the show. Again, forks up to Petra, Pardi, women's water polo head coach, 5th ranked team in the country. Again, just had a tough one against USC. Again, talked about she did get a yellow card in that. So, so did the USC coach. That was pretty funny. Again, tomorrow we will be talking with Sophie Shorter Robinson, the new all-time points leader and still going, Millie Quinn, and one of the 9 freshmen that's been rocking it, Sydney Crucian. So yes, they will be on at Pitchfork Lunch, and we will have that for you. So again, same bad time, same bad channel. No, it will not go this long. But I said I was going to get Coach Dillingham in. I put that up. There's Coach Dillingham as well as Coach Pardi. It was a coach fiesta today here on Pitchfork Lunch. So have a phenomenal rest of your Wednesday. Micro days at hump day. Woo, woo. Yep. With all the issues, I forgot to do that for Mama, but you guys know it's for my Mama. Her favorite commercial with my name in it. So yes, have a wonderful rest of your Wednesday. I will see you tomorrow. Same bad time, same bad channel. And yes, thanks to reigning back-to-back Big 12 champs women's volleyball. I know there's quite a few to pick from. Women's volleyball, though, it is #OurState. As most recently learned in women's tennis, most recently learned in the first baseball matchup of the 5 games. The first one goes to the Devils. Swimming, whooped them. So again, women's hoops, all 3. Molly Miller, we're sending positive vibes to you. Again, the 0.0001% of Pitchfork Lunch Mojo. But please, hopefully, again, feel better. Health, most important thing, Coach Miller. So forks up to you. And then your team, the team, obviously, forks up as they get set to take on Virginia tomorrow. We'll talk about that. And we'll hear from, like I said, the girls as well. So from water polo. So yes, it is #OurState. Have a phenomenal rest of your Wednesday. Again, at Diablo005_ on X. My IG, Michael.Caratino.5. Yep, dot between first and last name, .5. You're there. And then the YouTube channel, guys. Go to YouTube. You need to watch live there, but subscribe because, as you know, you have missed a plethora of phenomenal convert views. Coach Pardi, again, she was on today. Alum coach. I mean, water polo is rocking it. She's built the program has just gone like this. So, yeah, absolutely phenomenal. So, again, forks up to Coach Pardi for coming on. So I will see you tomorrow. Have a phenomenal day. And you guys know it. Go Devils. Go Devils. And as always, forks up. Get well soon, Coach Miller. Need you back on the sidelines. See you tomorrow.
I went to Arizona State. Right. I'm a Sun Devil, man.
27-yard line. That's a great call, too. Blake Baker, Plummer will put it up, throws over the middle. Pool, touchdown. Quick flag.
3rd down and 5. Levitt swings it to Scadaboo. Scadaboo breaks defenders. Here he goes again.
Scadaboo is the running back, and he is immediately met in the backfield, runs through the contact, and then throws a shoulder for good measure.
This team this year. That is true. High in the air. Right center field. Brandon comes in. Welcome to 2025.
Today. This one the other way. Still going back. That's the drag. What's up and down?
Edwards pulls off and buries it.
Richardson drives out for Robbie Ryan. Her 3 right on the money.